Hey, all right, you guys. This is Sam Sim in the building. Cooling out, just a little aggravated, but before I get into this video, I want to give a quick shout out to a good friend and adopted stepmother, Nzinga Shakur, and her father, her biological father, Matulu Shakur, which is also Tupac's godfather. And I also want to give a quick shout out to Jabril, my homeboy Jabril, who actually lived in the same home with the Fini Shakur during the aftermath of Tupac's murder. They stayed in Atlanta with her for a while. And, over the years, I was able to, kind of like learn a lot of personal things about Tupac, being a fan. And I guess it was, the way I got real cool with the family. And also, I want to give a quick shout out to Seth as well, Tupac's sister. But the way I got cool with the family is just some of the small things that I noticed about Tupac. Because I noticed the true Tupac fans, they talk about some of the things that I've thought about during his life and even after he died. But, they don't really get deeper into it. Like, when we talk about each album, like Tupacalypse Now being the best album in my opinion, besides Machiavelli, but Tupacalypse Now was my personal favorite. It spoke about politics, spoke about the community, and it was like the initial stages of the thug life. But I don't approve of this movie that's coming out. I'm waiting for it to come out so I can, go to the movies and boo it if I even decide on spending any money on going, because I know some of these producers who are involved with it are some of the same people that Tupac didn't like. He didn't want to work with them anymore after getting out of prison. He left a lot of people alone. He started a new circle as far as filming is concerned. People like John Singleton who turned their backs on him when he went to prison. He only needed like, I believe it was like $1 million to get out of prison, and the only person who was there for him was Suge Knight. So, the way I got all of my information is I worked in this committee called Critical Resistance. It's been going on for a while, and back in 2001, I was able to meet a lot of the family members in New Orleans, and just sitting there talking to them and just noticing a lot of small things about Tupac. Like, one thing that comes up is when he got out of prison, he stopped wearing a lot of baggy clothes, and they were like, "Wow, you actually noticed that?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I noticed it immediately when he did this interview. I forget who he did the interview with, but I noticed it like immediately. Like, man, he doesn't wear his clothes baggy anymore." And I was 15. I was like 14 going on 15 when when I noticed it. But, like, my favorite album was always Tupacalypse Now, was talked about a lot of political issues. I didn't really, and still to this day, I don't really care for Brenda's Got a Baby. My favorite song on Tupacalypse Now was Words of Wisdom. It's like track 6 on the Tupacalypse Now album. Everyone credits Brenda have got a baby. That video, when I was a kid, that video used to scare the shit out of me because it was so true. You hear those stories, you see it in the neighborhood, and just to see it on video, it was just a scary situation. But I watched some of the trailer for the movie, and I see a lot of the comparisons, like the one where he's wearing the white shirt, the white button-up shirt, and he's outside, and all of these news people are around him, and they're like asking him questions, and he's telling them, "Hey, this is not my real life," and he's talking about protecting himself. He's talking about the NRA, and by the way, that's how I actually got to learn more about the NRA as well, through Tupac. You know, um, the word adversary, even. I started using the word more frequently back when I was younger because of Tupac. And, you know, as far as the thug life and all of that is concerned, never really cared for it back then. I cared more about lyricism, but I understood the passion that Tupac had, and that's why I was a major supporter of him. You know, and he did speak for a lot of black youth. He did speak for us back then. So I've supported him 100%. But I noticed after he died, there was a lot of people who just took the thug image, the tattoos, the bunny rabbit bandana, you know, the screaming and the beef. They took the negative shit, and no one ever talks about how Pac was against gang violence, which is big now. When you got the Sioux and you got the the Blood Gang and all of this shit. These motherfuckers aren't really Pac fans. They're just Pac biters. They want that fame. They want that. But at the end of the day, are you willing to take a bullet? You willing to take and die for what you believe in? And these motherfuckers don't believe in shit. And if they do, it's based off of a far left, liberal, simp ass agenda. And I ain't with it, man. I'm gonna start calling these motherfuckers out, bro, for real. But as far as the Pac movie is concerned, no, man. I don't think that it's a good idea. It kind of pisses me off. And I'm kind of like listening to my man Carsino. He had a lot of stuff about Tupac as well. He talked about it, and I was like, man, yeah. Everything he said, I agree. I was like, wow. I heard that. Nobody really knows that Tupac lost a finger when he got shot. And I've never really read it in any other magazines. But it actually, yeah, he did. He lost a finger. And I was even able to have an opportunity to talk to with Tulu Shakur, about a lot of thoughts and, opinions and views that Tupac had when he was much smaller. And, he wasn't a thug, man. I mean, he used the thug image to gain the thugs, period, to gain the hoodlums, to get them on his side. But he was an educator. I mean, he was raised around a lot of strong black men, and at that time, black people were going through hell. I mean, we had just gotten over, segregation. We were integrated, and that's when the initial stages of, disparity started. After Martin Luther King died, the Black Panthers were formed around that time, and, they even knew that integration was a bad idea. So, like some of the things that Tupac talks about in his music, like, if you listen to Changes, and I wonder if Heaven Got a Ghetto, but on Changes he says, they're witness, start our own business. He talks about the riots, all of the positive shit. I never hear anybody talk about that. One of the main motherfuckers I hate is Master P. I never liked it. I never cared for him. After Tupac died, he went from, Mr. Ice Cream Man and to, the world ain't the same. From the cradle to the grave, dear mama, keep your head up. I'm trying to get paid. All of these Tupac verses, all of these Tupac titles in his, his one bar, if you want to call it. And then his little brother, C Murder, did When We Ride on Our Enemies. And what he did was he took it off of one of the unreleased Machiavelli albums, which is like, I don't know, the bootleg Machiavelli 5 or something like that. You could tell from the hate in my eyes, I'm a soldier to the day that I die, when we ride on our enemies. His version actually came out before Tupac's official version was ever released on the Mural Records. And that shit was like just terrible, man. But everybody let the shit ride. Yeah, even now, everyone wants to have that thug image, because the thug image is supposedly sexy and shit like that. But, man, I just wish this man was still alive, man. I won't say too much more about this shit, man. I can go on, but, I'm going to watch the movie. I am definitely going to watch it. Just like how I watched the Biggie movie, I'm going to watch it, but I'm not going to support it. You know what I'm saying? Out of respect. And I just find it ironic that Afeni Shakur passed away in the process of this movie being released. I find that real strange. So that's it, you guys. I'm gonna just leave it like that, and I might, share some information, man. Hopefully, man, I can get me and Brill. We can get on here, and he can give like some more insight on Afeni Shakur, and just the family itself, man. So I'm just going to leave it like that, man. And you guys have a great Sunday. And just be on the lookout for a lot of this dialogue that I have with this congresswoman, which I don't really think a lot of people feeling it, man. Because I notice anytime when I put some shit up about a black woman, motherfuckers flock to that shit. But the minute I put some shit that has to do about getting your own or some real knowledge, something on politics, and I see a lot of black YouTubers, they have the same problem. Like, majority of their views come from dissing black women. And, like, sure, I'm not going to be no simp. But that brings up something else I have to say about Tupac. Like, niggas don't know that Tupac was really done with all of that black woman power, independent woman type shit. Like, he even noticed the generation was changing. I mean, I wouldn't say that he was a part of the generation changing like that. I mean, as far as the thugs and all of that is concerned, maybe. But, I mean, he experienced it himself. I mean, when he first came out, it was like, yeah, Brenda's got a baby. He talked about Brenda, talking about Brenda throwing the baby in the trash can. But, he empathized with Brenda, but he didn't really sympathize with Brenda. He didn't even know keep your head up. It's like Tupac cares. If ain't nobody else caring about it, I care. Keep your head up. Stay strong. But, I mean, after the rape charge, he was like, fuck that shit. But, I mean, that's exactly how I feel now. It's like, shit, you won't hear me say that shit. I need to see more accountability from black women before I can ever run up. The only ones that I really speak up for are the ones who are actively keeping their shit intact. And there's a few women on here who are keeping their shit intact. And besides that, I mean, the older generation, like my grandmother's generation. But besides that, I mean, fuck that. I don't really give any other credit to these folks. But I'm watching this movie, man, called Inside Out. It's like a pixel cartoon. Shit is dope, man. It's my first time watching it. But just wanted to just go ahead and say that, man, because I hear a lot of people on here talking about this Tupac movie, and I wish they knew like how a lot of the people in the family feel about it. And these motherfuckers aren't even reaching out to the family. They're not reaching out to his sister, said about any of this shit. It's just like, fuck it. We're gonna do the movie. This is what it is. And I mean, even watching the Biggie movie, some of the shit was just off. It was completely off when it came down to Tupac. I don't see why the fuck they do that shit, man. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna watch this movie, man. You guys be cool. Sam, peace.